Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to play with some new and old makeup. I am inspired to do a classic smoky eye. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. As many of you know, I now have my online beauty consulting service, which is where you get the chance to talk to me one-on-one and you can pick my brain about any beauty concern you might have, whether it's discussing the current makeup you already own, maybe you bought something and you're not quite certain how to use it in your beauty routine or how to incorporate it with the stuff you already own, or maybe you're looking for new products to buy, but you don't want that added sales pressure. The benefit of my service is I work for myself. I don't work for any brands in particular. So I will give you my unbiased advice and just give you the best advice that I think works for you. So to make your appointment, click the link in the description box down below. So recently I saw that Natasha Denona has a new mini palette out that's a classic smoky eye. I've had some hit and miss reactions with Natasha Denona eyeshadows, so I'm definitely not purchasing that palette. However, I am inspired to create a smoky eye, but I am inspired to create something with what I already own. So that's what we're going to do. To start off, I'm going into my Dior Lip Glow Oil. This is the shade Mahogany, and this is just a really beautiful natural brown lip color. I'm going to use some of my new Chanel waterproof liners and also a couple of my classic Chanel quads. I have Modern Glamour, which is like the classic iconic smoky eye palette, but then I also have Blurry Green, and this one is nice because it has some mattes, so I think I will use some of the lighter matte colors from Blurry. Did I say Blurry Green? I mean Blurry Gray. I'm going to use the lighter transition shades in the crease and then use Modern Glamour as well. So I'm just going into this top color here and I'm going to use this as a transition color. Because I'm doing a smoky eye, I thought, oh, maybe I'll wear like a nice turtleneck or something, you know, like black to get into the mood. But it is way too humid. It is just crazy hot. And I have air conditioning, but still, at some point, you still need to wear like light summer clothes, even indoors. Okay, now let's go into the heavy hitter. I'm going into the matte black shade here with a little sponge. So speaking of Chanel classic smoky eye looks, I know many of you have seen the sneak peeks for the holiday collection, the No. 5 eyeshadow palette. So this, I think, looks beautiful. I remember for a while we weren't certain if this was going to be a dark navy or a true black, but we've seen swatches now a few times actually. So it's confirmed that it's going to be just a classic black smoky eye. It would be nice to see something in the dark navy and pink, so hopefully one day we will see something. I also saw some promo photos online. I don't think I can share them yet with you, but it appears as though there will be 2 palettes to choose from for the holiday release. Actually, I'm not certain. I saw photos online of another special edition Chanel eyeshadow palette, like a 4 quad, but it's much lighter and more golden. I heard a rumor that it could be part of the holiday release as well, like one classic smoky eye and then one golden lighter color, but the golden lighter color has a different pattern, different embossing. The classic smoky eye has the No. 5 embossing, so I think it's actually going to be different collections. The golden one could be for spring, although to me that doesn't really scream spring. Perhaps it's more of a cruise collection. Like, remember when Chanel used to do cruise collections? I think they've stopped doing them. I'm just going into this color over here with a tapered brush. I think they stopped doing the cruise collection last year in 2020, and I wasn't certain if it was just because of like the global situation, but they didn't do one this year, and so I'm not exactly certain. Like this palette, this golden palette, the embossing looks like sunbursts, and it's all in the golden, light, slightly bronzy family. So to me that screams cruise collection, even Les Beiges perhaps, but it's uncertain. And I swear we keep seeing these releases coming out sooner and sooner. So maybe in a few weeks we'll see it leaked officially. Also, remember a few months ago we had heard rumors that Lucia Pica was no longer the artistic director from Chanel. I have not heard anything else. I haven't heard any follow-up. I haven't heard any confirmation, any denial. Like officially, it's just a rumor? I don't know. I'm not exactly certain what's going on. I've certainly enjoyed a lot of Lucia Pica's creations, but I was also someone always voicing my complaints and frustrations of seeing so much red and pink eyeshadow constantly. Like I love red and pink, but I also like other colors as well. One of my favorite creations from Lucia Pica has to be the Water Fresh Tint, this beautiful, super lightweight foundation. It's technically a foundation, but it's so lightweight, it's so sheer, and just blends everything out so perfectly. I might use that today for my complexion. Let me take it out. To me, the Water Fresh Tint is one of those products that has not been recreated by any other brand. It's not quite a tinted moisturizer. It's not quite a CC cream or a BB cream. It's almost just like water on your skin that somehow blurs imperfections and makes you look very natural and radiant. So speaking of this Water Fresh Tint collection, we are going to see Water Fresh blushes in the same container like this, but it's going to be blush. It's going to be released in Asia very soon. I think early September it's coming out in Asia. So knock on wood, it comes to the rest of the world because I cannot wait to test that out. I'm really curious about the application because if it's anything like the Water Fresh Tint, it's really a liquid. And so I'm curious about how this applies and wears on top of everything else, on top of other makeup. I think they're only coming out with 4 shades to begin with, but I have so much faith in this. I am so excited. It's definitely a product I cannot wait to get. Okay, let me just clean this up. There's a little tiny bit of fallout here. I think it's from the matte color. Overall, it's not that bad. Anytime I do a smoky eye, or honestly when I do any eyeshadow, I always do the eyes first because it's easier to clean up. Okay, I'm going back into this matte color here with the tapered brush. All of the brushes are in the description box. This is a BK Beauty 204, just one of the flat ones here, just to add some liner. Now I'm going into this shade here, also with a sponge, and I'm going to place this on top of the black from before. Now for the liners, I'm going into 88, which is a classic black. I'm going to put some on the top waterline and lash line as well, and then go under the lashes here where I added some of the powder and just sort of smoke that out. Okay, I'm not certain I love where this is going, but also it's not done. It's not fully cooked yet. So I'm gonna go into my Les Beiges, do a bit of complexion and under eye before I finish this whole thing up. So in the Water Fresh Tint, I am in the shade medium. I'm going in with a second pump. This is also good as a primer if you want, just like a really light, sheer, hydrating primer, but you can do a couple of pumps to offer more coverage. And then I'm going into my Clé de Peau concealer. I have the shade Almond. Okay, I'm gonna go back into the silver shade that I used on top here with a small little smudging brush. And I'm going to pass it under the bottom lashes here, more on the outside. And then I'm taking this new waterproof liner. This is number 42 Gris Graphite. This is a beautiful silver smoky liner. And I'm gonna put this in the bottom waterline here. Okay, now it's starting to look like something a little bit better. I used that gray liner all on the bottom here, and I also went in the waterline on the bottom, just like all around here. I'm going to take the white color here with a little pencil brush, just a little bit. And I'm going to bring some of this lightness on the inner corner here. Now let's go in with the Volume de Chanel in the classic black. All right, now for a face powder, this is the Chantecaille Hummingbird Blurring Powder in the light medium shade. It is 37 degrees out and it's 9 a.m. So I definitely need some powder. Also, because the Water Fresh tint is so light, I just want to add a bit more coverage. I'm going in with a touch of bronzer. This is my Chanel Les Beiges Healthy Glow. This is Sunset. So for the blush and highlighter, I'm going into my Nars Orgasm on the Beach. When I first got this, I was like, do I really need a giant cheek palette? But oh my goodness, it's so good. I am completely convinced of these Nars cheek palettes now. I've converted to the large cheek palette family. I get it. I mixed both of these blushes here. This is the classic Orgasm blush, and this is Montezuma, more of like an orange corally color. It reminds me of the Hourglass blushes, where you could add highlighter over top if you wanted to, but on its own, it's also really lovely as well. Now it's time for a setting spray, please and thank you. This is the Benefit Professional Super Setter. This is a setting spray that actually helps your makeup last much longer. It's supposed to be long lasting and it actually works. I find that the mask transfer is much less, and also it makes it more resistant to like heat and humidity and sweat. For the lips, I'm going to keep this pretty nude. I have these new lip liners here from Buxom. These are called the Powerline Plumping Lip Liners, and I have the shade here called Hush Hush Henna. Now I know this claims to be plumping. There's no like tingling sensation, like there's no like minty plumping effect, because I know that Buxom has their lip glosses that are supposed to be plumping. This just feels like a really great lip liner. It feels like a lipstick almost, like it's not dry whatsoever. It's super creamy and smooth. I would describe this more as like a very creamy, smooth, easy to apply liner, more so than plumping. I think this is a really nice neutral color, and I'm going to add just a hint more oil over top just to give it a little bit of a glossy effect. But of course, to finish off our look, we have to go into a fragrance, and I'm in a little bit of a gourmand mood, so I'm going to use my Mon Guerlain Eau de Parfum, which is a very vanilla, tonka bean, velvety perfume. It does have some floral notes as well, but if you like Lancôme, La Vie est Belle, these types of like kind of caramel syrupy perfumes, Mon Guerlain is for you. All right, guys, I think this is my finished look, my smoky eye for my smoky, humid weather outside. I wanted to talk about the gray liner number 42. So I think it's a really nice color because you can use it on the bottom here just to add a little bit of color, a little bit of lightness. However, you could also use the black liner on top and then trace this gray liner back on top here. It'll keep it dark and smoky, but it'll just add a little bit of sparkle. Not like crazy, not a disco ball by any means, but this is not a super light gray. It's kind of like a black gray depending. And so if you just layered this on top, it would just add a little extra, a little definition and a little bit more sparkle. So if that's what you're into, I would recommend doing that on top. Overall, I really like this look. I think this came together nicely. There's always a moment when you're doing like a smoky eye that you're not sure how things are going to work out, but I like how it looked in the end. And if you happen to have Blurry Gray and Modern Glamour, I think that these palettes here work together nicely to create this look. Even if you don't have the exact same shadows, I'm certain you have something similar. I just have been seeing so many promo photos of that new Natasha Denona Mini Smoky Eye palette, and it looks beautiful, but I was like, I can create something by myself. If you're new to my channel, or if you've been watching me for a while and you just haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, leave a comment down below. Those are all great ways to encourage me here on my channel. Let me know in the comments what other makeup combinations or products you'd like to see on my channel. Let me know in the comments. So on that note, I think this is all I have for you guys for today. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.